Hello, sunshine. I am coming on today to talk about how to navigate business, which can also be applied to life, not going your way. So I shared on my stories yesterday that this week has not really gone according to the plan that I had set. I ended up taking much of Wednesday and Thursday kind of off from business to my hair is a mess today, kind of off from business to focus on some personal things going on and don't have all of my ducks in a row for my upcoming launch or my in-process launch of my program, Magnetic Visibility. But I wanted to share some of the things that I have put into place so that I am not so completely dysregulated and all over the place, worried, anxious, stressed out, like getting into that hustle mentality that so many people live in. So this is what this video is giving you some actual, like, real life, tangible examples of how I navigate my business or my life, not necessarily going the way that I had planned. So let's set the stage a little bit. I am very much a planner. I love a well-placed plan. My planner is always super detailed. Like, I've got lots and lots of notes. I'm not someone who naturally just kind of goes with the flow, right? I have very much more masculine structure in my system. Like, I lean much more of, I need to have things in place to move forward. I also know from a business perspective that really is beneficial because it gives me that longer term outlook. All of that to say, going with the flow, right? Kind of letting life lead itself is not naturally a comfortable space for myself. So before you think like, oh, well, she's got it figured out, like that's just her personality, it's not. This is something that throughout my whole 35 years, I have been figuring the F out. And throughout the past 3.5 years in business has really been a lesson that I have repeatedly had knocked into me violently by the universe. So what do I actually do to navigate having really big goals and something coming in to derail it? A couple of different things. Some of them are like tangible things. Some of them are mindset based. So first and foremost is the shift in identity. And I had talked about this in one of my posts a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago. The shift in identity from solopreneur to business owner. Now, that shift in identity is not just a languaging. It's not just changing the word from I'm a solopreneur to I am a business owner. It's an entire identity shift. So an identity shift changes your thoughts, your beliefs, and your behaviors and actions. So it's from the inside out, not the outside in. That's a whole different conversation. We're not getting into identity work right now. But it's the identity shift. And the reason that this has been so key for me, and I think will be really key for a lot of people, is that when we shift our identity from solopreneur, of I wear all these hats and I am solely responsible for my business growth, I am the one on whom this business success lives or dies, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And more often than not, you're going to hustle. You are going to sacrifice your health, your wellness, your well-being in order to have the business succeed. Whereas if you take that step back, the solopreneur in my mind, in the visualization I have, is so like thoroughly in the business. They don't really see the forest for the trees, right? They're just kind of walking through, like reacting to everything. There's not a lot of proactivity or responding. It's mostly reactivity. And we know that when you are in a place of reactivity, you don't really have that brain, that piece of your brain that has that forethought to think ahead. It just shuts off, because when you're in reactivity, you're very much in survival mode, which means when you are in survival mode, that limbic or that lizard brain comes into play, and your more advanced, more evolved part of your brain that has that ability to really like weigh results and consequences and things like that turns off. Biologically, that is what happens, right, in our bodies. But when you shift into this business owner, for me, that's actually kind of taking a step back and creating that detachment from the business. A business owner still has responsibility for the business, still has say over what happens, is still in charge. but they're literally stepped back. They can see the forest and they can see the trees. They can see what needs to be responded to, and they have that ability to think in the future. So how this specific identity has helped me navigate my business, not necessarily going the way that I want it to at a specific time or over a period of months or whatever it may be. I'm going to use this week as an example. Like I said, I had 2 days where I didn't really get nearly as much done. I ended up actually taking 1 day off even from my clients, which I very, very rarely do. How do I navigate this from that identity piece? By identifying as a business owner who knows that the success of my business is inevitable, and also knowing that I am the person who is responsible for the success of my business, I have to take care of myself. By detaching from that really reactive solopreneur who's like, I've got to get all the things done and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, I actually get to take a step back and say, yes, my business is here long term. Me taking 2 days off or slower this week is not actually going to derail that. It does not fully matter that I don't have all of my ducks in a row, that I don't have all of my content created or scheduled or all the emails done that need to go out for magnetic visibility this month. I know that I can get that done. And that identity shift has really helped me create that detachment in the business. Still, obviously want my success, still 100% in the business, but it gives me that level of detachment where I don't think that my well-being is worth the sacrifice for the business. So that is by and far the biggest thing that has helped me personally navigate my business, and something that I work with all of my clients on, whether they're private one-on-one clients or they're in my containers, magnetic visibility, my old membership, Elevate, whatever it was, right? Is really understanding what that identity is and allowing yourself to remember that you are a human. So that's the first one, is that identity shift of solopreneur who's reactive and like not really seeing the big picture, in 100% survival mode, does not have the physical functionality to be able to think ahead, to being that more confident, that more detached business owner who is not in survival mode, who is able to see the forest and the trees. That's the first thing. The second thing is a very tangible avenue, because I think it's important to have both the mindset and the identity shift and the practical application. The second thing is actually having structures in place that not all of my eggs are in one basket. This is one of the biggest teachings I have within magnetic visibility, is that all of your eggs should not be in one basket. This goes pretty much across the board in your business, from a visibility and marketing perspective to an offer perspective, revenue streams, channels, all of that kind of thing. You want to diversify your actions. So, for example, again, using this week where I took an entire day off from client communications, even going so far as to reschedule a client that I only see every couple of weeks to push them to next week so that I could take care of myself in the way that I needed to at the time. So I wasn't on social media. And if I was, I posted a couple of story slides yesterday. One of them had a picture of me. You guys know, if you've been around here, most of my stuff has me live or me on camera. Like, I love going live. I love talking, right? Or talking on my stories. But my story slides yesterday had one picture of me, and everything else was a picture of my dog or my rug, right? I'm really a big fan of my living room rug, so I use that a lot as like a backdrop. That is simple. It's easy. It doesn't require me to necessarily like be in the headspace to come on and be confident and talk and share about all the things in the way that I normally do. It doesn't require the same level of energy, that same level of really effort. Let's be real clear here. Effort, right? So it's allowing myself to do things like that, taking a step back from how I usually show up on social media and utilizing other ways. Graphics, posts, stories, slides of my dog who's freaking adorable, and not having it be me. It also looks like having structures in place off social media, having emails that are scheduled to go out in advance so that I can still sell my program, still promote, still give value and nurture my community without having to be on. email for me is a big one this year. This is also a trend that I'm seeing across the board in small business and business ownership, is really allowing that email community. That is something that for many people is a lot easier to kind of bulk create or create and set schedule out for the future, that allows you to kind of cover your bases, have communication go out in a way that doesn't require you to always be on or always be creating, because for a lot of people, you don't always have that creation energy within you, right? So it's structuring things like that. It's also, this is kind of like 2B, is creating those relationships with people where you do show up as a human being and creating that relationship of giving so much amazing value, of being such an incredible support person that your clients then understand if you need to take a day off, you need to take a day off. Right? I reached out to all my clients when I needed to take a day off one Wednesday and said, hey, I'm so sorry for the short notice. Like something came up. I've got to take today off. My apologies, And I let them both know, like the 2 women I had specifically that day, I let them know, hey, I can reschedule you to this date. I can extend your package to this date. And I was very upfront about like, hey, I'm not just like jipping you out of something, right? I'm going to make it up to you. But also because I have been so genuine, been so real in those interactions, in those containers, in those real relationships, my clients and I are not just client and coach and we come together and we peace out. Like we actually have real relationships. They know that wasn't just I had a bad day or I was in a mood. They knew that something was happening. So it's being real, it's being genuine, and it's allowing yourself to create that in all avenues of your business, right? So I'm actually going to say that that's number 3. That's not 2B. So the 3 things that I talked about today of how to navigate business when like life doesn't go your way or something happens and it derails your plans. Number 1 is really taking a look at your identity. Are you identifying as that solopreneur from a healthy place? Because there are going to be somebody who watches this replay and they're like, I love the solopreneur and it gives me exactly what I want. Cool, do you? But also make sure that you're doing you from a space of health, from a space of really understanding the languaging that you use, because there's the languaging and the titles that we give ourselves, the boxes we put our own selves in, are incredibly important to our identity. So getting really crystal clear on that identity and ensuring that whatever title or phrase that you use is one of healthy detachment, where you get to actually take a step back from the business and look at both the forest and the trees. That's number 1. The second way to really help navigate this space of shit hit the fan, life happened, I had to take a day off or whatever's going on, right? Your strategy isn't necessarily working the way that you want it to. The second way is to ensure that you have diversified structures in your business across the board. So I talk about this a lot in terms of marketing, attraction marketing, visibility strategies. That's, again, one of the cornerstones that I teach inside Magnetic Visibility, but also looking at it across the board, right? Looking at it not just in your marketing strategies, but also in your revenue streams. Not just having one very specific way that people can work with you. Now, that itself has a caveat, right? A little asterisk, because that is dependent on what it is you do, how established you are in business, what you have capability for. That has a huge caveat. If you've got questions on that one, hit me up, because that's a bigger conversation and kind of a tangent to what I want to cover right now. So that's the second one, is really making sure that you have good structures in place, well-diversified structures in place, so that you don't always have to be showing up in one specific way or in one specific place, right? And that goes across marketing strategies, visibility strategies, and also product suite strategies, with a big asterisk next to product suite strategies. And then the third way of navigating is really to build genuine relationships. So the example I gave was with my clients of building that, like, hey, I need a fucking day today. I'm so sorry, but something came up and I really need to address it, and building that relationship. But that goes beyond just your clients. That goes with your community as well. There have been periods in my business where my email list hasn't heard from me in like 5 weeks. And then I come back in and they hear from me twice a week for a month, and then it's once a week for 2 months. Like, consistency gets bandied around a lot, but a lot of the need for consistency gets built upon this relationship that we can build with one another, and just truly being genuine human beings, of being our genuine true selves and not some vamped up version of what we think we're supposed to be based on our idea of somebody else's expectations. So real quick, because I feel like that summary was quite long-winded. Strategy number 1 for navigating business when it's not necessarily going your way or when life gets in the way is to really make sure that your identity is one of detachment. Whatever title or phrase you use is one of healthy detachment that allows you to see the forest and the trees. The second one is to have diversified structures across your entire business where you don't have all of your eggs in one basket. And then number 3 is to build genuine relationships with everybody from your community, wherever that may be, social media, email, etc., building up referral networks, and definitely with your clients. So those are just 3 of the biggest ways that I personally navigate my business when life gets in the way or something doesn't go according to my plan. And I hope that these were helpful to you. If you've got any questions at all on any of them, or you want to understand how you can best apply it to your life, or something else is coming up and you're like, Chrissy, those 3 things don't help me at all, stick them in the comment box, send me a DM. I would love to talk to you and help you out about it. I've mentioned my program Magnetic Visibility a couple of times. So Magnetic Visibility is a program for personal branded businesses. So this can be coaches, healers, online service providers, anyone who really serves and sells from a place of a personal brand, which is going to be most coaches, healers, and online service providers. And it's a way to understand how to get visible on your terms, how to attract clients instead of chase them, how to attract more money, more revenue, more sales, all from a place of authenticity and really powerful attraction versus chasing. It gets really old really fast if you are constantly chasing after business or chasing after clients or, God forbid, chasing after leads. Don't use the word lead. They're human beings. They're not leads. They're human beings. But this program is all about how to actually get visible and grow your business, achieve your goals, whatever those may be, if they are revenue numbers, retention numbers, more clients, more consistency in your revenue, more consistency in your clients, whatever it may be, how to use authentic and magnetic visibility strategies to bring that into fruition. There are 2 ways to experience this. The first one is the full program. It's a 1-month program with lots and lots of goodness in it, trainings, guest experts, practices, Q&A, private sessions, planning sessions, all the things. The second round begins Monday, February 26th, and there are only 12 spots available. You can get all the details at the link in my bio, or again, send me a DM, comment below if you've got any questions. Magnetic Visibility, the full program, round 2 begins February 26th. There is also a second way to experience this if you are someone who's like, I don't want a whole month. I just want the strategy. I don't need the mindset support. I don't need the confidence. I don't need the energetics or the nervous system regulation. I just need the day. I just need to get this shit done and get it ready to go. I have a half day, 5 hour, so kind of a half day accelerator day. And this is 5 hours jam-packed of education, of relearning, unlearning the shitty ways that you've been taught visibility and marketing, learning the better, more supportive ways of it, and actually creating a 90-day plan for your own goals. You're going to walk away from this 5 hours blown away with so much information and an actionable plan for yourself. There are 4 date options available between now and the end of April. The very first one of them is Friday, February 23rd from 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern. There are only 4 spots available in the accelerator days because they are such intensive days. There's a lot of hands-on, one-on-one time throughout the entire day. So again, if you're interested, check out the link in my bio, comment or send me a DM. Those spots are going to go really fast. So if you want an accelerator day, hit me up so that we can make sure that that is the right program for you. Or if you're interested in the longer program with all of the kit and caboodle, all of the special things in there, we cover so much. let me know, or just go grab your spot in my bio. Any questions at all about magnetic visibility or the 3 strategies I shared with you today as far as navigating business when life gets in the way or doesn't go according to plan, comment or hit me up, because you can absolutely grow your business and still be a human being and still take time for the things that matter to you outside of your business. Because guess what? Your business is not the only thing that's important, and it sure as hell is not the only part of your life. Go out and enjoy your day.